How did the first humans figure out sex? How did they realize it led to pregnancy? And how did anyone connect a moment of pleasure to a baby arriving 9 months later? No books, no science, no one alive to explain any of it. This is how humanity pieced it together, one curious mistake at a time. Part 1. The Curiosity Game. When humans first branched off from earlier primates, they didn't lose their animal instincts, but they had something extra: curiosity, on a scale nothing else on Earth had. Early men and women started noticing their bodies, their differences, their reproductive organs. The man had a long shape, and the woman had a matching opening that seemed built for it. And curiosity did what curiosity does. What if this fits there? So they tried it. At first, it didn't work. Awkward. Confusing. The body wasn't ready. The movement wasn't right. And both of them were left with the same feeling. Something's missing here. They tried different things, different angles, different speeds. Some of it worked a little. Most of it worked not at all. So they looked around, and the answer was already right in front of them. Early humans lived surrounded by animals, watching them constantly, for food, for danger, for anything worth noticing. And animals didn't hide this. The rhythm, the pulling in, the pushing out, right there in plain sight every single day. They tried again, copying what they'd seen. And this time, it clicked. The body responded. The movement felt right. And then came the release, a sudden wave of satisfaction unlike anything they'd felt before. Word spread fast, and the drive was strong enough that it didn't stay a secret for long. Every single person in the tribe wanted to feel that same thing. But here's the part almost nobody thinks about. They were doing this constantly, for one reason only: because it felt good. Not once, in any of this, did the thought, "This makes a baby," cross anyone's mind. Why would it? There was nothing connecting the two. Not yet. Part 2. The 9-month mystery. Now, early humans were experts. They were doing it constantly, and they had absolutely no idea it had anything to do with making a baby. Why would they? Nothing happens right away. A few weeks pass, nothing. A month, still nothing. Then, slowly, a woman's belly starts to swell, like a balloon filling from the inside. The tribe was baffled. Why is this happening? And why only to the women who'd been doing that one specific thing? At first, it was terrifying. A disease, a punishment, something wrong with her body that no one had a name for. And in the absence of an actual answer, people filled the gap with whatever made sense to them. Maybe it was something she ate. Maybe the moon did it. Maybe she'd upset something bigger than herself, and this was the price. Every wrong guess got passed around, believed for a while, and quietly dropped when the next unexplained belly showed up on a woman who definitely hadn't eaten the same berries or upset the same spirit. But these women were tough, strong enough to hunt alongside the tribe every day, and they pushed through the fear, month after month, with zero explanation for what was happening inside them. Then, around the 8th month, something undeniable happened. A kick. Movement from inside her own body. And she'd seen this before. She'd watched animals give birth to smaller versions of themselves. And it hit her. There's something alive in here. Part 3. The pattern nobody could ignore. One pregnancy is a mystery, but it kept happening, over and over, to different women, in the same slow, specific sequence. The act, the weight, the swelling, the kick, the birth. And that's really the moment this stopped being a fluke and started being a pattern. Because a tribe isn't watching one woman, it's watching all of them, for years, across generations, and every wrong explanation, the moon, the berries, the curse, eventually ran into the same problem. But every single woman who'd swelled had one thing in common, without exception. That's the part evolution didn't need to explain to anyone. It just needed the pattern to repeat often enough and be specific enough that eventually someone in the tribe, a mother, an elder, someone paying closer attention than most, noticed the one thing that never changed. And once that connection exists in even one mind, it doesn't stay in one mind for long. It gets said out loud. It gets tested against the next pregnancy and the one after that. And every time it holds, it gets a little harder to unbelieve. Part 4. Connecting the dots. When the day came and the baby was finally born, the last piece fell into place. She looked at the newborn, a tiny version of herself, then back at the 9 months that led here, then all the way back to that one act that started it. The dots connected. The act felt good. The belly grew. A new life arrived. Sex wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was the beginning of every single person who would ever exist. If your brain just questions something you've never actually thought about before, that's this channel. And if you want to see how this same curiosity eventually led to marriage, the video's linked right here. Subscribe for more, because next time, we're digging into another normal thing nobody questions. Mock out.